Get it mixed up. I guess my first question for you two is going into this project, how did you guys go about it in a way that a person watching it doesn't feel like they're kind of hearing the same retread from a celeb, sort of like giving their perspective of how they got into the industry? You know, maybe they probably heard it before through other interviews, but just maybe something from a different perspective.
Right. And did you feel that way when you watched the film?
No, I didn't because I guess in my head initially going into it, I was kind of expecting it a little bit because like, oh, I see Denzel
People
sit
think they
down
know
and
what this film is about, and it's
yeah,
not what we're serving up, Reggie. That's what his question is about.
yeah.
I know what he's asking, but I'm just double checking.
No, for me, like I said, for me, it's like I saw Denzel sit down. And I was like, okay, I've seen Denzel do interviews. I'm like, let's see where this goes. 'Cause I don't want to presume, but it's like, okay, well, a lot of and y'all also having The Rock in it definitely threw me off like in a good way. I was like, oh, The Rock's in this. All right, cool. So, but just I guess going back to the question, I mean, how did you guys kind of approach this?
Well, we're very deliberate about not looking like any interview you've ever seen before with these stars.
Mhm.
And look, we had a huge advantage of they're not here plugging their latest movie or whatever. We're just talking.
Yeah.
And we wanted to ask meaningful questions that are not the type of questions you get when you're doing a press junket.
Mhm.
We're like, no, for real, right? And very often it's not just the question, it's the follow-up that
Mhm.
Yes.
takes you to a meaningful place.
Yes, I agree with everything Reggie said. The interviews are the core. And one of the things is that Reggie is in that ecosystem. So
Mhm.
he's worked with a lot of these folks, has a certain rapport. I was coming at it as a documentary filmmaker without a personal relationship to the
Yeah.
subject, but I've never had a personal relationship to my subjects.
Mhm.
And so the interview and the interview process is a really important one. And the goal of every interview was to listen, to really listen to what each actress was saying, to be able, as Reggie said, to follow up
Mhm.
and 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 just crack open that veneer of celebrity just a bit, just a
Yeah.
bit. And I will see at home in the final product because there are hours and hours and hours, all these people are in essence the moments that I feel that are most revealing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
are give you a sense of who they are as a person, not
Yeah.
just the brand, the celebrity, the star, the number one on the call sheet.
Yeah, I mean that was the big thing that stood out for me is that I love seeing the other celebs geek out over the other celebs. Like the one in particular that because I never heard him talk about it. You always heard rumors was when Denzel was talking about when he went to go see Black Panther the first time. It
Mhm.
was very much like, oh, like he saw I knew he saw it, but like him actually speaking on it, like, oh man, this really kind of took me aback. New generation of actors. This is great. So I mean, for y'all, how did you manage to kind of get, I mean, you mentioned about like being able to just let them talk, but like, did you find it easy to just let them just go ahead and just have at it and just speak on their hearts at the moment?
Well, it is funny because when I first called Denzel about this, he was like, "Man, I talked to you already. I interviewed you about Sidney Poitier this year, man. What you want me to do two interviews in the same year?" I was like, "Yes, sir. I would like that."
Yeah,
And so it's just it's relaxed with us. So he'll be like, "Come on, Reggie." Like we
yeah,
just
yeah.
it's a real relationship because he knows I'm going to be honest and I'm going to be real.
Mhm.
And and he doesn't want to that's the only thing he cares about is real talk, right?
Yeah,
He doesn't
yeah.
have time for anything else. So that's just our relationship and
Mhm.
I'm grateful for it. And he knows.
Okay, Reggie, but you can't minimize the craft, right? Let's not minimize the craft. As a director, you
Yeah.
go in with a sense of what you want out of each interview. Each person, you think you know what you want, but you
Yeah.
also have to be in the moment
Yes.
of accepting what you're getting and pivoting and rolling with it. It's like jazz improvisation. So if you
Yeah.
don't know
Yes.
your scales, if you don't have a plan, you miss opportunities. And there is craft involved in
Mhm.
directing. So it is not just like, hey, hey D, let him talk.
Yes.
Like everybody calls each other D in the men's film. I'm like, hey D. So I'm gonna meet Denzel and be like, hey D. He's gonna be like, who the hell are you?
No, you're absolutely right, Shala. Thank you for
Yes.
calling me on it, because the reality is, and what some people do is they have a list of questions,
Yes.
and they just, doesn't matter what you say. You go, yeah, and that's the time I killed my wife. Okay, for my next question, no, wait, you just said you killed your wife. So like, did you stop and listen to what the answer you're getting and respond appropriately? So yes, you have to be in the moment, and go where the conversation goes, and wherever it goes, it's the right thing to do, and that's where the beautiful things emerge.
And then sometimes you direct,
Yeah.
right? You lead the conversation. So, for instance, in my interview with Halle Berry, I didn't know whether she had seen the movie Imitation of Life or not, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to have a certain kind of conversation about Black women in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, of course. I mean, it's like, and then we have a conversation
Yeah.
about light skin, dark skin, and whoa. So it's a combination of things, and the it really is like jazz improvisation, right? You get on the stage, and you want to be able to hang with Max Roach and
Yeah.
Billie Holiday.
I mean, was
Hey,
there
Coltrane, you better be ready
like lastly, was
because
there oh I'm
it's
sorry.
about excellence. And let me tell you, these people have been interviewed so much,
Mhm.
they can sniff out BS, and then you're dead in the water.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, was there, I guess lastly, was there a celeb that you guys wanted and it just didn't work out due to scheduling or whatever?
Look, we had more stars than we could fit into the
It feel
movie.
it feels that way a little bit because I was like, it
Yeah.
feels like they wanted to get some more people in it. It's just, the way it was structured, it probably just
Yeah,
didn't
I
work
mean,
out.
but we're so happy with the voices we have and the stories told and the lessons taught. So I look at the movie and I feel great.
Oh no,
And
I love it. I love it.
and the story should reflect their truths as well, because there's
Mhm.
a bigger picture. And so this is not about inclusion exclusion.
Yeah.
I think that hopefully it says something about becoming number one on the call sheet that is broader than each individual story.
Mhm.
And to be honest, as a mere mortal, I as in not an actress, with glam all the time,
Yeah.
and beauty light. Uh, there's lessons to take away because we each should want to be number one on our call sheet,
Oh yeah, for sure.
which to me is to be in your purpose and to strive towards excellence, whatever that means to you.
Mm.
Cool. I mean, look, I loved watching both parts, and it was like I said, it was definitely different than my expectations. But it's like I said, as soon as the first minute of that first part one, I was like, okay, well, this is different. Never mind. Cool. And was just off to the races from there. So I definitely appreciate you taking the time talking to me and give people a perspective of what to expect into your project. So thank you for taking time out to talk to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.